this thing, we're sure you never thought we'd last. Oh no. We're gonna talk nothing, very little sports with your host Jimmy and James. And now you know for sure that it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast, oh yes, 'cause this is the podcast.
You know, one of the things about going away, whenever I go away for something big like the finals, when I'm gone for a couple of weeks, Brooksie,
I guess that's what I'm saying, Brooksie,
goes nuts.
You get that through your head?
I don't mean she misses me.
Oh.
Maybe she misses me, or maybe she just takes advantage of the opportunity that I'm not gone. But she goes on a shopping spree.
Little spending.
Look out.
Yeah, but this was the...
She told me about it.
This was the... What?
Sorry.
Wait, what?
I don't know nothing.
So, I was gone. I mean, I was back a little bit here and there, the NBA Finals, but even when I was home, I was mostly down at the
Were
rink.
you staying in hotels in Toronto?
No, I stayed home, but I was at the rink a lot. The rink. I can't.
Jimmy Hoops.
At the arena.
Give me hoops, baby.
So, this was Brooksie's tally for the first 2 weeks of June. 2 new couches.
Why?
Because I don't know. Because she saw some look that she liked, and we have a nice couch.
Yeah.
So this couch goes into another room. 2 new couches replace the one couch facing each other.
How's that a look?
I don't know. 2 new coffee tables, one for between the 2 new couches and one for the other room with the other couch. A unit for underneath the television, and not like a little unit, like a Restoration Hardware 14-foot unit. About, I would say, 4 pictures, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
You know, pieces of art, not like, you know, things. 2 new trees in the backyard.
Trees. She's putting trees in.
Trees.
Wow.
2 new. It is treason. That's what it is. And multiple plants. And yeah. So she basically redid the entire house while I was gone.
Wow.
A-hole or A-okay?
At least she didn't move.
I think she knew I was so excited about the NBA Finals and stuff that I could get away with it.
Yeah.
She could get away with it, excuse me, and
She's
then I would
smart
come
like
back.
A fox.
Well,
Would you rather her spend all that money or have an affair?
For her having an affair.
Yeah, like
I come back from the NBA Finals
It's
and
a
she says,
meaningless
I
fling.
slept with Puffy.
Yeah, it's a meaningless fling.
On the old couch.
But on the old couch, I thought the new one would be
That's why
more
we threw it
appropriate. We got to out with the old,
Soiled.
in with the new.
If she slept with you, I could tolerate if it was like Lester.
That's good to know.
well,
FFR for future reference.
Gonna have to add her to my list.
That's a great, that's a question. That's a tough one, Buffy. I've always said this about Brooksie. She's not one of those women that spends money on Gucci purses and things like that and stuff on herself. She only spends on our kids and our homes.
In your house.
But she is breaking me.
She likes to. Well, I'm doing a rental right now, so
yes.
Once you're in, though, it's like.
But we did the reno. I thought it was over 2 years ago. It was over, Puffy.
You did. That's the thing. You already do your big spending. Like couches should last longer than 2 years.
Perhaps a conversation about fiscal restraint is in the offing.
This is our last episode of the year. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Rubber Boots Podcast. There's Lester, there's Stoff, there's Puffy, there's Jimmy. This is we're going to run through some segments.
Yes.
We have a friend Adnan Virk finally.
Oh,
see,
yes.
Lester, we've been saying there's stuff we got to do. We got to have Adnan Virk on. Internship check. Adnan Virk check.
Dream analyst to be determined next year.
Merch
next year.
Not going to happen.
I think next year.
Let's get to why don't we start with Puffy's Hypotheticals.
Yo, 1, 2, 1, 2. These hypotheticals are messing with my mind. These hypotheticals, what's gonna be this time? These hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. These hypotheticals.
Last Puffy's Hypotheticals of the season. Make it a goodie. Go.
Okay, so this is a little confusing. So this is a group project. We're going to be offered $20 million to split. So for the math wizards, that's 5 apiece.
10 for Jimmy, 3.3 3 for the rest of you.
So Now the assignment is we have to steal a trait from one another.
Okay.
And it can be either physical or like emotional or anything like that, right?
Okay.
And one person can lose more than one trait.
Okay.
And when it's stolen, the person loses it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
So I could take your chin.
Yes.
You got a nice strong chin. I don't have the strongest of chins.
So I would have no chin.
You would have no chin at all?
And you would throw away the chin you don't use. Either
Oh, you don't get
yours-
my chin.
No, I do not get your chin.
I could get your whimsical love of life.
Yes.
Your alcoholism.
Yes, I would
Your
lose
gambling
that.
addiction?
I would lose that. Don't
right.
take those from me, please.
All right. Do you want to start?
I can start, yeah. if
Does
people
anybody
need time
give these
to-
guys a chance
Sure.
to think it out?
I want to hear what you have to say.
So
We get 20 million no matter what.
no, but only if we all go through with it.
Oh, everyone's got to do
Everyone
it.
has to.
All right.
So
Okay.
that's the only way we can all get 20
Oh, so does the person have to allow you to steal it, or
No.
Yeah, like...
Oh, they have to say yes?
Yeah, like otherwise we don't get the money. If I like if you took my chin and I said, no, you can't have my chin, then we don't get the money.
Okay. Go.
So I would take Stoff's eyes.
Wow.
Why is that?
Because I'm starting to get a little older now.
Right.
And like I might need glasses soon.
Okay, so Stoff will
And
be.
I'm pretty sure you both have glasses, right?
Yeah, I don't.
wear
I
glasses.
don't have glasses, but I don't have good eyes.
Yeah, so I think Stoff has the best eyes, so I just don't want to get glasses.
So Stoff will now be.
Blind. You have no eyes.
blind with 3.5 million?
No, not blind. He just has no eyes.
Wow.
Oh, like,
What,
so
I can still see.
No, no,
You're
you
blind,
just, you have
too.
no, yeah,
So I
of
am
course.
blind.
He's not blind. He
But I
has
mean, like,
no
it's
eyes.
not like he has eyes in there. and
There's
he
just
can't
holes.
see. Like,
He's
it's
just got
holes in his
holes.
face. Yes.
And
So not
he's
only
not
am I
gonna-
blind, I have to cover up my look.
He's
Yeah.
not going to accept that.
You wear
no
sunglasses.
chance.
For $5 million?
Yeah, he's $5 million.
He's
don't
not.
know, man.
You need to take a more realistic one. This is
Okay,
a team concept.
if we're doing that, then I'm taking Lester's musical ability and I go Stevie Wonder with it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Perfect. See?
I want to take Lester's blackness.
That's part of my Stevie Wonder thing.
Oh, my God.
I just always, I
always
always thought
wanted-
he was super cool, and he's a good-looking guy. He's got
Yeah.
beautiful skin.
So Lester,
I want Lester's blackness.
Lester all of a sudden
All of
has
a
lost
sudden,
his blackness.
I'm black.
So is Lester
and
white?
his musical ability.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wait a second. He's lost his blackness and his music ability, so he's now you.
Minus the good eyes.
I know.
No, I don't want. I won't take your blackness, Lester.
Oh, please. That's all I have.
I would take Lester's musical ability too. That was the thing, but I don't know if he'd put up with that. Stoff's work ethic, your joie de vivre. I'm gonna stick with Lester's blackness.
I would take your writing ability then.
Oh, am I right? That's all you want is my writing ability.
Your writing ability
Okay.
and your
So-
money.
So
James
you-
can't write at all.
You're
He's
a-
James
illiterate.
can't write.
You are a good writer with
Yes.
no music ability, and you're white. Just so you know.
all over.
Did you really want his musical ability? That's the thing you're taking.
Well, that's if I had no eyes. If not,
Okay.
I would
Okay.
go
So
with-
you have that is the scenario. Do you accept this? You get $5 million, Lester's musical ability,
$5
and you're
million.
blind. You're okay with that?
not particularly. I was
This
personally.
is awesome for me. I don't
was
have to get glasses, and I got $5 million.
personally
Oh, wait a second. We didn't steal anything from Puffy.
I was
Okay.
going to go with Puffy's endurance, if you know what I mean.
Oh, his sexual
His
Oh, that
ability.
would
Well,
not
not
be.
sexual. It's more of
yeah,
a
it's personal sexual.
hobby. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to
I'm
give
just
that
taking
up
his
for
most
$5 million.
his most redeemable quality.
Oh, so wait a second. If you take his endurance in that capacity, what does he have now?
Nothing.
Just it happens.
I don't
It just
know.
happens right away. Boom.
Boom.
Like your first thought, you just go boom. That's
How
going
many
to be
thoughts?
awkward.
Pant
You
explosion.
better get a special pair of pants.
Ejaculate violently.
I love how nobody like. I would take let's just do physical.
Yeah,
I would take your.
my ass.
I would either take your. I'd take your chin if I get the stubble because I grew a not a very good beard.
No?
Right. So I'd take your chin and stubble. Lester, I'd like his eyes. He's got beautiful eyes.
Nice eyes.
And Stoff.
They just don't work as well as Stoff's.
I want his.
Many do.
Nobody wants anything from me physically. That's just starts to get hurtful.
You're on the.
I don't have any.
You're on
I
the
don't like. I don't
opposite
have
side
a
of
lot.
50.
I don't have a lot. I've been working out a lot on my butt.
Yeah?
fairly
Yes.
firm.
Your buttocks
Does
is the
anybody
butt.
want my butt? Anyone? Take it right now.
Keep in my butt.
What about my hair? I got pretty nice hair.
You got pretty good hair.
I'm not gonna lie.
I would take your hair.
Stoff, take my hair.
I would take your hair.
So, do we have a deal on this, or is Stoff putting a hold on it?
Has no eyes.
No,
What
I'm
if
not
we-
going for that.
what
How
if
come
we-
I'm going to count my money with no eyes?
Yeah, but you have $5 million.
You tell me I have $5 million.
That's true. My whole plan was we were going to screw him out of his
I'm just sitting in a corner alone.
We're going to give him monopoly money.
This was the last hypothetical of the year, and it just failed miserably. Now,
How did that
none of
fail?
us get any money.
Well,
I don't get to be black. You don't get the good eyes. What was Lester going to take?
he took your writing ability.
Oh, yeah.
The worst part is I don't even know who's black anymore.
Lester can't even write. That was not your finest Puffy's Hypotheticals. But you know what's going to save it?
What?
Is the Puffy's Hypotheticals theme, which has been very popular.
Yes.
We've been promising this all year long.
Yes.
Another thing we have to do in our last episode, Lester's song that he's written about the Hypotheticals.
Yes, indeed.
Here you go.
It is called Let me just set it up. It's called Hypotheticals. It features N.I. Gel and Tammy Ning and myself.
Mixed emotion, fixed devotion. We can cry rivers and brave the oceans. Mixed emotions, fixed devotion. We can cry rivers and brave the oceans. Yo, mixed emotions, fixed devotions. We can cry rivers and brave the oceans. Fight for what's here, baby, disappear. Limbo love just doesn't seem fair to you and me. I'm in love, but hypothetically, with the person you're supposed to meant to be. Hypotheticals ain't our reality. We try again and we ending up casualties. Fast forward to you casually passing me, so callously forgetting what you meant to me, or representing me a hypothetical alternate reality. So maybe baby you could marry me. I'm confused, scared to try but scared to lose. We keep on singing them hypothetical blues. Go on, sing 'em. Sing 'em.
All these hypotheticals are blowing my mind. All these hypotheticals keeping me up at night. All these hypotheticals are blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. Blowing my mind.
Blow your shots. Blowing my mind, blowing my mind. What if Martin Luther King's bullets missed? And after the attempt, he raised the black fist. With that black fist, Martin held the gun. So Malcolm became the peaceful one. Hypothetically talking, it's just endlessly walking. Perpetual past, so we circular stalking. Whether left is right, via Desmond didn't fight. Cause the model didn't die, Stevie Wonder had sight. So no, songs in the key of life. Tyson remained champ, never lost his light. Black Canadians didn't get they rights. Hypothesis scary as a poltergeist.
All these hypotheticals are blowing my mind. All these hypotheticals keeping me up at night. All these hypotheticals are blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. All these hypotheticals are blowing my mind.
Fixed emotion, fixed devotion.
All these hypotheticals
Reality,
are taking up my time.
reality.
What if this? What if that? What if this globe around was flat? What if day was night and night was day? The people of the world prayed the same way. What if love could truly save the day? All these hypotheticals, all these hypotheticals, yeah. All these hypotheticals are blowing my mind. All these hypotheticals keeping me up at night. All these hypotheticals are blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. Blowing my mind.
Nick Duthie,
And I gel.
Hypothetical, shout out to the podcast. Duthie, Puffy, Stoff, Rod Smith, baby. We out.
Hypotheticals, hypotheticals.
Damn.
Seriously.
That is a hit maker, baby.
This summer, that might be the summer jam.
I want it to be a summer jam.
And
I want to make a video. Too.
We've made it clear that we do get a piece of everything.
Oh, you
right?
get a piece of zero. Yes.
Not when it's blown
Can you
up.
get that on Apple Music yet?
I haven't put it up yet.
Okay,
but I
put
will.
it up. Like you gotta, you have to learn
I know,
to be
but
a
I want
businessman.
to. Again, I want to make a video first. Then I put it all up. You know what I mean?
No, I love the song, man.
Yeah, man,
You did a
thank
great
you.
job
Thank
with
you.
that.
Excellent.
Next, another thing we're going to do more of next year is more original tunes. Lester and I are going to have some jam sessions.
Awesome.
We really are.
Yes.
Let's do a very quick A-hole or A-OK.
Is it A-hole or is it A-okay?
So I saw this on the Twitter. There was a guy on a train, and he's rocking a baby. It looks like you can't see the baby. It looks like he's got a baby wrapped up in a blanket. And he's obviously trying to, it's a crowded train. So he's kind of looking at this guy who's sitting down. And the guy gets up and moves. And the guy sits down and he unravels and there's no baby. It's just his jacket.
I saw that, yeah.
A-hole or A-OK?
I think it's an a-hole move. I think if you got up, then you'd have the right to go grab that guy and donkey toss him.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's brilliant. A-OK.
I love it. It's genius. But you do have to deal with the repercussions,
Yeah.
possibly. So.
Right. The A-hole or A-OK, and I suppose Puffy's Hypotheticals brought to you by our friends at Untuck It. It's never a good look when you untuck a long, bulky dress shirt. That's why Untuck It makes shirts specifically designed to be worn untucked. A casual shirt, not too long, not too short. Untuck It shirts are a go-to for any occasion, from casual to dressy. Use the promo codes Rubber Boots. We thank all of our sponsors, the guys from Untuck It, idrinkcoffee.com. What the hell else? Waimara. And, of course,
Cabot.
Cabot. The final episode of the season comes from Cabot. Why don't you know what we're going to do? Things that I saw on Twitter.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Things that I saw on Twitter is brought to you by Stoff, who puts this thing together because I'm too damn lazy.
He's made the segment a lot better.
And our beloved friends at idrinkcoffee.com. Slawek will join us to wrap up the pod. I Drink Coffee, they've been with us from the beginning. Please, if you haven't, if you love the coffee, go to idrinkcoffee.com.
It's good for you.
It's good for you.
Espresso.
Seems like, what season did I thought it was espresso?
I think
That
it's
was
probably
season one?
Yeah,
Season one, season two?
Espresso.
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 I've learned so much.
Yes, indeed.
Come so far, Jimmy.
Become so worldly. Some of these are a little dated because Stoff was gathering these throughout June while we were away.
Kept expecting us to return.
His things that I saw on Twitter just got bigger and bigger.
It's an accordion folder now.
First one, Lizzie O'Leary verified account. I found an old Southern cookbook with some truly fantastic salad recipes, and the Stoff is asking, would Jimmy eat this, knowing my sweet tooth, my ass pick that I used to eat.
Yes.
Here it is. This is the Coca-Cola salad recipe. 1 package of orange Jell-O, 1 small package cream cheese, 1 large Coca-Cola, 1/2 cup of nuts. Dust the Jell-O into the cream cheese. Heat the Coca-Cola to a boiling point. Pour over the mixture. Mix, add nuts, put in mold. That would be put in the Jell-O mold, not actually add mold.
I was about to say.
Not where I was
Might
going.
help.
Leave out 1 to 2 hours before putting into fridge. Separates into 3 layers.
Wow.
I am going to say today, Jimmy,
Yeah.
about to train for our Waimara trip in October. No.
Yes.
But Jimmy up to 35 all over this. And Jimmy pre-18,
Yeah.
I would have this every day.
Wow.
Well, you'd probably eat the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, I would eat the whole thing every single day.
I have to. Here's another weird, wild personal fact about me. I have a very.
It's not the segment.
I know, but if I may say, I have a policy that's very simple, and perhaps some of you have this policy as well. If I'm not feeling it, it's not going into my mouth. If I'm not feeling it,
What do you
it's
mean by
not
feeling it?
going in my mouth.
What do you mean if you're not feeling
I'm
it?
I'm not feeling it. Look, I'm not going to eat this thing with Jell-O and.
But that would be the
cream
same
cheese.
for any piece of
Yeah.
food. Any piece of food you
Or
don't
any
eat because you're not feeling
I'm
it.
not feeling it. Not going in my mouth. So I'm just saying, I'm not feeling it.
Okay,
it's not
that's not
going in my
a rule.
mouth.
That's everybody's
a
rule.
That's not a rule.
Yeah.
That's my rule. I'm telling you.
No, that's everybody's
That's my
rule.
phrase. That's my phrase. If I'm not feeling it,
That's going to be on the Lester T-shirt.
going in my mouth.
What was your first weird, wild personal fact? It was like, I like
Anti-mayo.
pencils. I don't use pens or something.
No,
like that.
I can't remember what it was.
Anti-mayo.
I've
Yeah,
never
I've never had mayo.
I don't have mayo.
That's
hey, guys,
weird.
I'm about to rock your world. I've never had mayo.
This pot is.
I'm not
quickly
feeling it.
Making fun of.
I'm
Lester.
not feeling it.
I'm not. If I'm not. Listen. The phrase is, if I'm not feeling it,
I ain't eating
it's
it.
not
But like
going
physically
in my mouth.
feeling it or like emotionally
Emotionally, whatever.
It would have made more sense if it was physically feeling it.
Well,
My
listen.
issue with this is I don't want to eat food that you mix together and then it separates on its own. Like if it's going to separate on its own into 3 layers, there's something wrong with that.
That's the magic, though.
There's another problem with Coca-Cola. Not that we wouldn't accept their sponsorship money,
Yes.
but is that story that you put a nail in Coca-Cola, it will dissolve in about 3 days?
That can't be correct.
I think it
Apparently-
takes
No,
the
actually,
rust off.
that's-
of the
it rusts-
nail. I
yeah,
don't
it
think
takes the
that
rust
whole
off.
I think
nail-
it dissolves.
That's the stuff like saying
better
if you
story.
swallow gum, it doesn't leave your body for 7 years. I would be
believe that.
dead at like 11 years old.
Why,
Like I swallow gum all the time.
Really?
It's nothing.
I have a phrase that I use. If I ain't feeling it, I ain't chewing it. Do you think when we put out our gear, which will probably be next year?
Yeah,
we
that'll
got,
be a T-shirt. That'll be very popular.
If I'm not feeling it,
It ain't
I
going in
ain't.
my-
What is it again?
If I'm not feeling it, it's not going in my mouth.
I think that needs a song for
so
it to
just
really
be in
work.
the
know what
front.
I'm
If I
saying?
ain't feeling
I ain't feeling it. It ain't gone in my mouth. If I ain't feeling you.
I think individually I would have all those things, but together I don't know if it's a mix. I'd be down.
Jimmy, I'm just going to say this.
What?
We have to have, honestly, we've never done this. We need to have a writing session.
Buddy, we haven't done all the stuff we said we're going to do.
No. We never said,
That's
we've
what
never.
this podcast is all about.
Yes. You don't have to do
Just
anything.
promising
You know,
things that will never
Stoff came to me
happen.
a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, I found a dream expert." We've been talking about that since season 1. And we said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." As soon as I get back from the NBA Finals, we'll get that dream expert on. I tell you what, our first episode in the fall, Stoff,
Dream expert.
we'll get that on. No, you're right. I do
She
want to
could
do
get
that.
the fifth
I really
bedroom.
want to do
No, I
that.
think
wanna
it'd be-
do
I
some
think it'd be
sessions.
fun, right?
But are you talking about, are we going to record them or just...
Well, it'd be good to just get in a room and sort of see what happens, right?
All right.
I mean, I think it'd be great.
I know it's gonna happen.
Did you see
Call.
That's a good point by you. No, when we get motivated, Lester and I do stuff.
Hey, we have a pretty successful track record as songwriters.
An alligator swimming.
On-
Did you see this one a couple weeks ago? An alligator swimming in a Texas lake with a knife in its head. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
It was the ultimate. Well, it should have been Florida because that's what
Yeah.
there's crap happened. A big ass knife,
Like one of those butcher
Steak knife,
hunting
steak
knife,
knife.
like a hunter
big
knife.
steak knife right in the middle of its
Crocodile
head.
Wow.
Dundee style.
Yeah, right in the middle of its head.
Wow.
It's just alligators are
Well, where the hell
badass.
where the hell do the alligators have their brains?
Well, probably in their head.
Yeah,
Do you
but they
think
got
they're
that
in their
long
tail?
head, right?
It's not a Tesla where the brain's in the trunk.
You never know, man. You
Volkswagen.
never know. No, but I mean, if it had a knife in its brain, it wouldn't be swimming around.
Yeah, well,
So,
the knife
like,
didn't
where's
go
the
in-
knife? Is it in his nose, in his beak,
in the snout?
in the snout?
You mean the brain?
Yeah,
No, I'm
like-
just thinking this probably have a thick outer layer and it didn't get in far enough.
Well,
I don't think,
probably-
I don't
Or
think
it's just
alligators are that
perfectly lodged
different.
in there, and if you pull it out, it'll die.
Do you think alligators are that different a species that
I think they are.
their brains
one, they're
are in
green.
their brains are in their ass?
They could be. I don't know how nature works.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Bad places to propose.
Oh, boy.
I think we talked about this at one point, but Stoff found this on his timeline. A man in a gym proposed to his girl, and she said no. What a dumbass idea to propose in a gym.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, an arena of sorts is up there too.
Was there video for that? Was it a meathead, like a meathead?
No,
like,
no, it wasn't a video. It was just someone's comment. I figured, like,
I
what's
call
the
it
weirdest
like on the
proposal you've
elliptical?
seen, or like, what's the worst place to propose? 'Cause, to do it in a public gym, that's
I'm
pretty
very
insane.
anti-sports stadiums,
I'm going to say strip joint.
unless she's working.
Gotta be during her break.
Listen, we've all seen that footage where the guy at the whatever football or basketball game asks his girlfriend to marry him, and she says no and runs away. It's like, oh, it's gut wrenching for me.
I think it's because it makes it, unless your girl really loves the attention,
Yeah.
that you're making it about yourself. You're trying to make it's the same assholes that yell Baba Booey during golf. You know, they're just craving attention.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
If I was the girl, though, I'd be like, I'd say yes in public, but then I'd let him down.
Say no after.
But do you think there'd be any place that someone would say no that they otherwise would say yes?
someone would?
Like, I always assume like that people, when they say no, it doesn't matter where the location.
Oh, so are you
was.
saying that you think somebody might say no in a stadium and then say yes later?
No, I'm saying if they say no in a stadium, they probably are saying no everywhere.
Right.
You just picked a bad spot.
But are you? Isn't it
think-
the opposite? There's places people would say yes, like you're just saying, like Lester was just saying. You could say yes at a stadium and then say later, "Get the hell out of here. That was embarrassing to me." Right? You say yes just to not embarrass the guy, and then say no later. But you're flipping it around.
Yeah, like I just think when people say no, it doesn't matter where the.
No one's going to
that-
say no and then yes later, are they?
Well, let's say hypothetically the guy won $1 million later on, and then it's like, oh, I'll marry you now. I'm just kidding.
Would you go through with it then?
If the money,
They say she said no, but then she came back to you later after you won a lot of money.
Yeah.
there was a dude in Ontario a couple of years ago who was he broke up with his girl. Said, "Yeah, it's not working out. I'm moving out." And then she found out that day he'd won 10 million or whatever.
Oh my God.
Well, that is
pretty good.
cold.
That's low.
Well, it depends. Did he buy the ticket with his own money? Were they common law? There's questions to be asked. Were they on the rocks?
That's a good question. Question.
These are valid questions. That's our last edition of the year. Things that I saw on Twitter. Do we have our guest? This is exciting. We've been talking about this for. Well, when did we start bringing up our?
By the way,
he would have been season
I
one.
want to point out that I made a note to follow through with this guest.
You did because
Yeah,
we
because
tend to forget. How many times have we said on the show? Let's get Adnan Virk on.
Yeah.
But you know what? We were waiting for him to be in Toronto because Puffy promised me that he'd.
He'd come by live because Train is amazing on the phone, but live he's even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys got me?
Train?
Hold on. There he is.
Oh, the Puffs, Daddy, Shoeless James.
Adnan Virk. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, boys. I can't believe it. Rubber Boots Podcast.
This is a huge
This is
break
huge.
for you.
Big get.
You've worked for, worked for the Score in Canada. You've worked for ESPN. You now work for DAZN, which is going to take all of our jobs and all of the money at some point. But now you're on the Rubber Boots pod.
I mean, this is the new historic high.
It really is. We've talked about you a lot on this podcast, so you better not let us down.
No, there's no question. Are we recording now, or should I just go into full...
Go get into start bringing the material
Full
right
train
now.
mode.
We're on, baby.
Okay, well, listen, what I'd like to know is just, honestly, how smart were you guys to reveal the Rod Smith that I've always known, which is a sex-crazed drug addict? I mean, that is who Rod Smith was when I first met him in summer of 1998, and now I'm so glad you guys have peeled back the curtain and shown us what kind of a monster this man is. I mean, fun-loving party monster, but still. I mean, he should have been arrested in several countries by now.
Just so Adnan and I started the exact same time at TSN.
Really?
Summer of 1998. When
World
did you
Cup
start? When did you
98.
start?
I was January 99.
January 99. When did you start, Lester?
September 95.
September 95. So Lester was already here. So Adnan he started on the row, right? On the row, right? You were one of the guys on the row.
James, as I tell everybody, I should be getting at least 5% of your check since I ran prompter your first ever sports desk, pre-sports center. We had sports desk because I was on with O-Dog and Noodles, and this was Monday at the parade. I said, I just saw Duthie. He just ran right past me. It was brutal. I said, I ran prompter that guy's first shift. He owes me everything. If I had screwed him on that shift, I was going to get him a read. So back to Ottawa.
At the Raptors, at the Raptors celebration parade, I don't know why that we only had like 2-minute commercial breaks when we had to fill 7.5 hours. But I was running to the porta potty. And there I see Adnan, who I haven't seen in person since about 5-6 years,
probably.
And I try to give him a hug, but the pee is trickling out of my pants. And so he feels like I did you feel like I big timed you there?
I didn't, because I totally get it, the being in that situation. But when I saw Gurdeep after, our boy Gurdeep Alawali, who was crushing it at CB24,
yes.
I saw Duthie. I go, what did he say? I go, nothing. He ran right past me. Oh, man, that was brutal. So then that story got around. Now Ken Bolden doesn't understand what's going on. Cruiser's upset. So I'm basically smearing you, James.
Oh, you're such a bastard. So,
by the way, do you remember why your nickname is Shoeless James? I still call you that? Do you remember this?
No. Did I one show do it without shoes?
Yeah. So we were it was after we had moved. So it wasn't the Victoria place. It was I guess the one you've always been at now for 20 years. Channel 9. You somebody had taken your shoes.
Oh, that was Landsberg. You know that story?
Tell that story.
I've never heard this story.
No.
So, sorry to interrupt you. So, I bought, I wasn't making a lot of money back then. I bought one pair of dress shoes, basically, when I got hired by TSN. One pair of black dress shoes. And we all had this, it was on Leslie's, not Leslie, on
Victoria
Shepherd.
Park.
Yeah.
Shepherd.
So, all of the anchors had a little room upstairs where we shared our wardrobe. Mm-hmm. And so, I go up one day, I got my little runners on coming into work, and my shoes are gone. And so somebody's taken my shoes from the dressing room.
Yeah.
So, a week goes by, a couple weeks goes by, my shoes are gone. I have no shoes. And so that leads to Adnan. I guess I did a show without any shoes, right, Adnan?
Yeah, you did the show without shoes. And I remember, I go, what the hell is this? And you go, hey, Shoeless James.
So that's how nicknames are born.
Yes.
And so then eventually I go up there, and it's right behind the makeup room. And the makeup artist goes, oh, I know who took your shoes. Oh no, my shoes they appeared like 2 months later. They appeared. They were all scuffed up.
Yeah,
and they appeared. And the makeup artist says, "Oh, I saw this guy bring him in." And I'm like, "Do you know what he looks like?" And she goes, "Yeah." So we looked around the building and she finds him. She goes, and it was an intern for Landsberg.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, and so I go to him. I'm like, "Dude, well, you stole my shoes." He goes, "Oh no, Michael took them. He needed a pair of shoes." And I'm like, "What the hell?" So I go to Landsberg. We're in the makeup chair next to each other one day. I'm like, "Landsberg, yeah, so I hear we were sharing the same shoes." And he's like, "Yeah." And that was it. All he said. So I gave him. Now Michael Landsberg, by the way, is a super nice guy, and I got to know him after that. But at that time, for about 6 months, I was like, that shoe thieving bastard.
Of course.
And he wasn't even remorseful about
not
it.
at all.
I took your
But
shoes.
why would you have gone shoeless? Why wouldn't you have just worn runners? You can't see them under the desk.
I don't know. It was comfortable.
Jesus.
It's funny you guys mention that, though, James, because Doug Gottlieb, prominent personality, used to work at ESPN Networks at Fox, same thing. Known as a shoe thief. Like, he'd have shoes, but he just liked someone else's shoes better. He was just blatantly wearing guys' shoes, and just like Michael, a good dude, well-liked, and did not feel remorseful about doing it. He was just known as a shoe thief.
Weird. It's a klepto characteristic of sportscasters in our
Shoes seems like something that's pretty personal. Like, pants is one thing.
Well, to have them fit as well.
Yeah.
I forgave
How about
Landsberg.
this story about Landsberg? I don't know if it's apocryphal. Puffy, I think you've heard it too.
Yeah.
Is that apparently one time when Duthie first met him, he said, "Hey, Mike, how are you?" And Michael stopped him and rather sternly said, "My name's Michael. Mike's a plumber's name." And as he started to walk away, Duthie said, "Well, my uncle's a plumber." "See you later, Mike."
Yeah,
That's a Dutchie.
So give me some more. Adnan, for you guys who know. So this is how Adnan sort of made a name for himself at TSN before he became an awesome broadcaster. Is he does spot-on imitations like nobody's. Give me a little more Dutchie. Anything you want.
Sure. It's funny, James, when you texted me yesterday, say, "Get the Dutchie ready." It's one of those, it's like riding a bike. I don't think I've done it in 17 years. But you literally tell me to do it, and it just comes out like, when you look at the Toronto Raptors and the way that this team celebrated their parade, you have to appreciate the contributions of Kawhi Leonard. Yes, he's a one and done. Yes, he's a guy who only played 60 games. But the results you can't argue with. If you look at what happened today at Nathan Phillips Square, Kawhi is the man. Sherry Ford has more.
Sherry Ford has more. Who else was your favorite? I won't put you on the spot.
Good.
You
His
did a
Rod
great.
is
Can you
good.
do now? Do you do Rod as Rod or Rod as Rod Smith, the podcast version?
Yeah, I wish I could do Rod Smith podcast for you. Rod Smith, baby. But the big thing about Schmitty was that it was more, and you see him in person, just the way he'd nod his head. Like Puffy and I would give him a shot. He'd be like, "Yeah, okay, yeah." It was more just the nods and the gesticulations. Yeah. Like you give him the clipboard for a minute update, and he's perusing it like it's this important government document. It's just Vernon Wells has hurt, Schmitty. That's it. 10-second deal. Here we go. Come on, let's do this. JP Ricciardi's done a bad deal. Let's move on. But then the best would be Puffy and I think we would distract him because particularly I was terrible as an associate producer. So in order to dissuade him from realizing how bad I was at my job, I would get him into these long conversations about CFL material. So I remember one time I was asking about something obscure, and he just goes, "Well, I mean, Hank Ilisic, I mean, he's like a personal hero of mine." And I started laughing. Like, how could a guy actually think that? And he's like, what do you, like, you're joking, like the punter for the Argos? Like, that guy's just like your hero? Like, hey, first of all, an Argo is your hero? He's Hank Ilisic? Yeah, I love Hank Ilisic. I mean, you could ask Rambo. Like, I love that guy. I'm like, let's get Dwayne Ford over here. Yeah, Fordy, yeah. But the best name ever that I couldn't do an impression of, but James, you guys mentioned this in the Rubber Boots a couple years ago, Bob Pronick. I mean, it was unreal. You put that in a Rod Smith baby, or maybe
Yes.
you dropped it in stuff. But I mean, Bob Pronick is a name that literally 30 years from now, God love him, he's a nice man. He just wasn't cut from the same cloth as us. It can immediately elicit a reaction. Like literally 20 years from now, if any of us ran into each other, if I saw Lester somewhere, I'm like, "Hey man, talked to Bob Pronick lately?" It will immediately.
I know, and I don't think probably none of the listeners even remember because he was probably
he had a short window.
He anchored on TSN he anchored Sports Desk for maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, he wasn't at this building.
And you're so right. Super nice guy, super nice. But I think his background might have been news, I don't know. We needed a fill-in spot, and you're right. It was like him doing a show with Dutchie or something was just.
Oh my god.
The best was one time, like Dutchie was making, to your point, he's making jokes to Pronick, and Pronick didn't know how to handle it. Like he was talking to John Lucas. Dutchie's like, "How about Johnny Lou and his big canoe?" and Chronic isn't sure. Like, is it a euphemism for something? What exactly does that mean? Why is canoeing involved?
Oh man, those were such fantastic days. And
another great Dutchie was Bob Weeks last week's.
And he hasn't changed. Like you're so
he's
right.
the exact
like
same.
you could walk in and he's 100% exactly the same.
He probably would just think you still work here, Train. He wouldn't even realize you weren't here.
And Puffy, the best is, certain guys, if they hate impressions. Dutchie hated me doing it.
Oh, yeah, he didn't like it.
Right? He was well aware of it, and he said, "You want to do it, that's fine, but don't do it to my face." Whereas Smitty couldn't get enough of it. Like, I'd start doing it, he'd laugh in my face.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Contra Tully's.
He did. He loved
flattered
it.
by it.
Did you do did you keep that up at ESPN and such? Was there anybody like Berman or any of those guys that you did as well, or did you keep that
funny,
on the low?
I would do a few of them, but I kept it on the low, James, because that, you know what? These guys may not react as well. Credit to you guys. You guys had a good sense of humor about it. Nobody really cared. I'm like, it's a different. Even though I was higher up in the food chain, so to speak, I felt smaller in terms of as far as my scale. But yeah, it was. I mean, it was funny. I often always tell people I couldn't do an impression of you, but I never forgot the rule you gave me about writing, which is so funny. You and I mean, listen, you're a great writer. We all know that. And yet you do zero writing now. Like, whatever you're doing, right, any of your work, I go, it's you and Lisa LaFlemme. You're ad-libbing for 6 hours, right? You're doing hockey stuff that you're just setting these guys up, whatever, Bob, et cetera. There's no on, there's on camera, but there's nothing you're writing. So it was so funny. When you would do Sports Center or Sports Desk, you would actually write the lead-ins. I never forgot the rule you gave me. And I haven't written a lead-in, by the way, in 7 years. The stuff I did at ESPN, baseball tonight, college football, it's all on the fly, right? Studio wrap, same thing we're doing. You're basically studio support. It's a live game. You're doing the intermission, you're doing the pregame, et cetera. But the rule you gave me was you go, I think of something that the thing is like, and I connect the two. I say, well, give me an example. And you'd say, well, I would write something about, I don't know how you phrase it, but I never forgot the rule. And the funny thing is now I never get to use the rule. But let's suppose we were talking about the Tiger Cats. And you'd say, well, the Tiger Cats have lost 8 straight games, but a cat like Halle Berry has 9 lives. Something like that. And you said, I would always, and you go, sometimes the stupider the connection, the better it would work.
Right.
And you go, even when I would think it was lame or corny, people liked it. I remember one time you had a line, it was, you'd always talk about monsters on TSN. And you said, Bob McKenzie or Peter McGuire channels his inner Van Helsing. And like that little line is enough for people to remember, Van Helsing guy, that's great. Rather than, here's your monster pick of the night. It was a really, small bit of advice, but it was great. There was one, you tossed a Fall Out Boy, and you said, you could have just said, here, coming up next is Fall Out Boy, big band, but you said they're going to, whatever the hell the song is, they're going to dance like whatever. What's the, Uma Thurman. You're going now it's time, but we all wish we could do it. John Travolta once did, let's dance like Uma Thurman. Here's Fall Out Boy. Well, I said, it's a pretty good rule of advice, which I've taken from you. So I know.
I remember when in your first year or so on ESPN, when you were writing leads, I'd say, oh yeah, there it is. He's going to reference a movie now. Of course, you only reference Scorsese films in every one of your intros.
Well, that was the funny line you guys did in Rubber Boots. You said, listen, I got nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm thrilled for success. I just find the Scorsese, love too much. And Puffy said, well, give me an example. And he goes, well, it could be like Adam Sandler could be in a movie directed by Marty, and he'd be like, oh, he's never been better.
Billy Madison 4, directed by Martin Scorsese. Hey, is there any you're still doing the Cinephile podcast, right? You're a huge movie buff. Is there any flicks right now? I'm telling you, the movie I want to see this summer more than anything else. You guys can all laugh at me. Toy Story 4.
Really?
That's the movie I want to see. Have you seen it yet?
No.
I just took my boys to see it on Saturday.
Was it good?
I know your kids are older now, James, but if your issue is just your own attachment, not nostalgia, I think you'll like it. I got to be honest with you. By the 4th installment, I feel like we've kind of traveled this terrain as well as we could, and I thought Toy Story 3 was so great. Like
they should have ended. They should have ended there. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, I thought Toy Story 3, I'm with you, it was like a legitimately great film. Forget about animated movie kids, but no, that's a great movie. It's really genuinely heartwarming, and the ending is beautiful. This one I thought was solid. Rather than the bromance of Woody and Buzz, it's more about Woody finding romance. And again, listen, it's smart, it's clever, it's well-paced. I just didn't think it was necessary after how good 3 was. But if you're a big Toy Story fan, then you'll love it. You're
like me, though. You're sick of you're not a big, Marvel guy and all that stuff,
exactly.
are you?
I can't take any more, man. It's so funny. People are like, what about this one? I can't do it. Yeah. They all just crash together after a while. I don't even know what the hell I'm watching anymore. This character's blue. This character's green. It's some CGI, some foreign planet. I mean, literally, you can't find, Manchester by the Seas, which I know is...
No, I love those movies.
Right, but those are great films. You have to look to find those movies now.
The only thing I've ever really disagreed with Adnan on ever, and I agree, is that he hates Forrest Gump.
Yeah, he's
really?
very anti-Forrest.
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
I know. I just found it, Lester, just to be so painful. It's so syrupy and so saccharine, and it's like, it's so formulaic. You know what I mean? It's just painful. Like, it's basically fall in love with this stupid guy as he goes through American history for 50 years. And it's beyond cornball. Like, I can appreciate cornball. Okay, I love Field of Dreams. I can appreciate a sentimental film. If somebody tells me they love, Remember the Titans or something like that, I get it. But I thought Forrest Gump was manipulative. Like, it was so
original. Everything about it was original.
No, it's completely corn-fed wisdom, and life is like a box of chocolates. Are you kidding me?
Should we cut him off, son? Should we cut him off?
Chocolate.
Listen, buddy, we don't want to keep you too long because we know you got, what do you got, about 9 kids now?
Oh, it's unbelievable, man. Like, people think I just sit around all day and, watch Flyers highlights and movies. I got 4 kids, man. I'm changing diapers. I'm at the pool. We had an MLB Network party today. We're on the inflatable jump house. It's crazy. But it's a blast, as you know.
So, parting thought, don't tell your guys at DAZN, Skipper and all those guys, just to leave a few of the rights for us, okay? Don't come in and take the World Juniors and the CFL and those things.
It's so funny you said that. McAuliffe texted me right away, my old buddy from the Scorch, McAuliffe. He said, listen, I know you've gone through a lot. I'm sure it's been a traumatic experience, stressful, etc. But I'm telling you right now, DAZN scares me, and it scares all of us in Canada.
And for those listening who aren't aware, this DAZN is a digital sports service
platform.
They're buying up stuff all over the world, and in 10 years, you'll probably be watching half the sports you watch on DAZN. But the one great thing they did is hire Adnan Virk.
Yeah, he'll be hosting it all.
One of the most talented broadcasters, I think, anywhere, and just an all-around good guy. Wait a second. Puffy's got to tell one story about you before Stanley Cup final story. Might have been the last time you and I hung out.
Train, you can tell it when
2011 Cup final.
Invited you to stay with me in Boston. How did that night go?
Obviously, Puffy's one of my best friends. We're having a blast. We go and hit the bar. We're having a great time.
You were hammered, by the way. I was there that night.
I was hammered,
for the record.
Yeah.
No, I meant Adnan.
Oh, Train was not hammered.
But eventually what happened is I somehow I lost sight of where Puffy was, and I wasn't feeling I might as well have been hammered. I remember going to the bathroom, and we're in some freaking bar in Boston. What the hell I am? Anyways, let's say I get out of there, and everybody's gone. Like, literally, I'm like, oh, my God, what the hell? Like, the bars close at 2, or are they? So I got to go find Puffy somehow. But I don't know what the issue was, Puffy, with the cell numbers. I'm not sure what it was. But then eventually, I go back to the hotel. I have enough of a frame of reference what Puffy's room is, but I'm knocking on no answer. Right? So I literally go out to a park, and I just slept on a bench. And literally, I imagine someone walking by. Thankfully, I don't know who the hell I was. But it's like, hey, is that guy on ESPN News? That guy's sleeping on a bench.
Yeah, you just started at ESPN, and all of a sudden you're sleeping on the street.
Oh my
God! The best is when I knocked on the door like 7 a.m. Puffy opens the door shirtless. And he's like, where the hell were you?
I'm a deep sleeper, Train.
And then you look further in the door, and I was in the sheets, also shirtless. Listen, buddy, thanks for taking some time out, and we look forward to watching you on DAZN, and let's just keep it out of Canada for a while, okay?
Listen, I love the podcast. Rubber Boots are so great. Puffy's Hypotheticals are the best part of the broadcast. Obviously, Smitty's unbelievable. Lester, very talented musically. I like that Stoff jumps in here and every weekend. No more dreams, all right? No more Duthie's dreams, naked in the shower. Every time I hear a dream segment, I can't believe it's sponsored. And the other thing, by the way, the Gansevoort here. Enough with the Gansevoort. God, listen, James, you're forgetting your roots here. Just like a common, a middle-class Canadian, good guy from Ottawa, max keeping. Well, every time you mention the Gansevoort, I picture you think you're like Lorne Michaels all of a sudden. You're like wandering around on your yacht. Like you have millions of dollars just throwing in the wind. Like the Gansevoort people, you've got to find something like more cottage country. You know what I'm saying? Something in Northern Ontario, something in Simcoe people can relate to.
Don't you mean John Barrymore?
First of all, you haven't listened to the last about 5 or 6 episodes because they changed the name to Waimara. So catch up, you bastard.
Waimara.
Adnan, thanks a lot, buddy.
Cheers, boys. Take care.
That was our friend Adnan Virk.
Train?
Yeah.
We booked him when we couldn't get Mini Adnan Virk.
Yeah.
Was Mini Adnan Virk?
Did not see Mini Adnan Virk.
He was not at the Cup final?
No, he was not there.
So he must be
I think he's a local Pittsburgh
Nashville.
guy.
Nashville or Pittsburgh?
No, Pittsburgh. It was back-to-back years.
So we need the Penguins back in to get more of Mini Adnan Virk. This is our last podcast together of the year. We'll be doing one more at Cabot, and I thought, what would be the best way to end our final podcast of the season? I said, let's bring our best buddy, and the reason this podcast happened
pretty much
is our man Slawek from idrinkcoffee.com. How you doing, buddy?
Doing really well. Hey, guys, how are you?
What's
Good,
going
good.
on?
How
man?
you doing?
Slavic's big day for Slavic. His daughter, grade 8 graduation.
Oh,
It's a
look
big
out.
one.
Remind us
My
of you.
son. It's my son.
Damn it! You have a daughter though, right?
I do, yeah.
I get confused.
She's 2 years younger, though.
Damn it! And your son's graduating from grade 8.
Yes, that's right.
So he's going to high school next year.
Yes, indeed,
Is he nervous about that?
Yeah, I guess. He's got a very calm disposition, so...
Has he had a girlfriend yet?
No, not yet.
He might tonight.
You think he's nervous? You think he's nervous because he drinks too much coffee?
It's funny because he does enjoy coffee quite a bit. I guess we're more allowing than other parents.
Do you feed
in
your
that
kids
respect.
coffee like 4 years old because of your company? Just start stuffing it with the breast
See,
milk?
coffee has lots of health benefits.
I know.
It came out today.
We can all stand to drink a little bit more. So
What does it say?
It's like it helps cure diabetes, like all this other stuff. It's really
it's
good
a
for your
cure
coffee.
for what ails you.
Yeah, it
you
is.
should change your focus of marketing, Slavic, into this that you're a pure medicinal. Everything you do is medicinal.
Absolutely.
It is.
Just keep buying coffee, all right?
From you.
The everything's good with the company.
Yeah, everything's going great. We've experienced, just tremendous growth over the last little while. Things are fantastic. It's a fun business to be in, and we're doing really well. We're growing. We've hired a bunch of new people over the last little bit as well. So it's really great.
Awesome to hear. What's wrong with your Reds TFC?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. The team needs. Last year I said Vanny's got to go, and Puffy was saying that I'm wrong, but
Yes.
I think. I think it's been proven that it's time for him, his nephew, and probably half the team to be replaced, and somebody has to take responsibility for this lack of performance, and I think that's got to be Vanny and amongst others.
You were saying you were being Bob McKenzie, Soccer Insider, and telling me you thought Javenko might come back?
Well, like I said, me and James had a talk a little bit about this. I believe, if you look at Javenko's Instagram, he's living in Toronto. He's calling Toronto home. He's at the Raptors games. He was at a TFC game. I'll go on a limb and say that July 7th, Michael Bradley gets traded to Mexico, and Javenko gets re-signed.
Oh, I love it.
Wow, I like that.
I'll do that.
That's why you come on this pod.
I never heard about that at all.
Wow,
Seb he's in town?
not just a sponsor.
He's
Slavic
been
knows
here,
stuff.
He's been
buddy.
here for at least the last 3 weeks to a month.
Really?
And he's calling Toronto home. I think that judging, and I don't know the guy. This is all speculation. Judging from what he's posting, I believe that his children are living here.
Awesome.
That they're not over in Saudi Arabia. And I think the Saudi Arabian experiment has been has backfired. He hasn't done that well there, and I don't think he's happy there either.
Bring him home then.
Would you like him back?
Yeah, I love Seb. He was awesome. He's a great player.
He's a great player. He's kind of a
player
whiny little.
on the decline.
Yeah. Would you? Yeah, you never said. Would you want him back?
I don't know. Maybe
Depends on the money.
Depends on the money, because look at what happened in Saudi Arabia. He got all this money, and he had 5 goals in 15 games. It's not exactly he's tearing it up over there.
Yeah.
In a league that's quite a bit easier than MLS.
So before we let you go, we have to do that game this summer. Now I'm off to Espanyol with my familia.
Which part?
Well, I'm going to Cabot first, and then we're off to Barcelona.
Oh, nice.
Actually, I'm a little
wonderful.
stop in Italy.
Nice.
What's this island off of Italy? I can't remember what it's called.
I have no-
Brooksie booked the whole thing.
Not
Brooksie.
Sicily.
It'll be
No,
Venice.
It starts with an S or something.
Malta?
Malta?
No.
Sampdoria. Santorini.
That's Greece.
Santorini.
San Marino.
No.
San Marino.
No, none of those are right. I don't
San
know where
Diego.
I'm going. It's not San Diego.
Santiago.
So I'm going to some island off of Italy, and then we're going to Barcelona and Costa Brava, a coast.
Cool.
Have you been to Spain, Slavic?
I have not been to Spain before, but I'll be there next summer. One of our large suppliers is in Barcelona.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. Nice.
Well, listen, so let's do that game in August when we get the cast of the pod down, and we'll go see a TFC game together and have some beers and have a good time, okay?
Sure, we're right in box 15, right on the field.
We can't thank you enough for all the love you've given us this year, and we will continue to support idrinkcoffee.com as long as you are in business, my friend, all right?
I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a good summer.
Okay, buddy, have a great one.
Cheers.
That's
Take
our
care,
pal
bye-bye.
Slawek. And that's pretty much it for the podcast this year. What do you think of the season? Pretty strong season, I
It
thought.
was strong, and then I thought we had a bit of a dip in May and June.
We missed
the
playoffs.
Yeah, we didn't have.
we missed the playoffs.
Well, it's a really funny thing. I think a lot. It's funny. Funny you say that though, because I mean, you guys are obviously in the business and everything, but you're accustomed to being this busy in June. But the basketball thing, I think, really threw a lot of people off. That countrywide.
Puffy and I are always together. We got separated, and the whole world just fell apart on us. So we apologize to you for that, but we still popped out. I don't know, 33, 34 episodes.
I thought we had a very productive
We had
year.
a full season.
We had a productive year.
You know, we had some things went south with Roddy, but then we pulled him back in. Roddy will be back next year. Everything's fine. What kind of twists and turns are we going to take next season? Who knows?
Who knows? It could go anywhere.
All we know, there is actually one more pod, of course, Cabot. The Cabot pod we look forward to at Cabot.
Which I'm not on. Are you on that pod, Stoff?
I'm hoping to sneak in with the luggage on the way over.
Are you guys going to keep that Lester and Stoff thing going all summer?
Stoff,
Just to try and
Lester,
cut into
Stoff?
our audience?
We might have to. I mean,
listen.
we're 4 episodes deep here, James. People want more.
You know, I'll tell you what. Our last pod, we had a big guest.
That was huge numbers for you guys.
Yes, absolutely. Huge bump. We got a Jimmy bump.
We're gonna do New Jack Waimara.
Yes.
So as soon as we finish taping this pod,
Is it
we're
a
gonna
summer
start
thing?
trading. Well, I mean, we're not going to be.
summer
We won't be
after.
at the Waimara until October. So
Weekly weigh-ins.
Yeah,
That's gonna be.
and I'm going to drink my face off in Spain and Cabot.
I'm
So
gonna get drunk a lot. This
I'm going to
summer.
start on August 1st.
Ooh, that's aggressive start date.
Yeah,
I'm going Labor Day.
Give me I don't like your chances.
And I'm going to try and bulk up before that.
Lester's already looking
already
good.
started.
He's already.
You don't want to peak too early, buddy.
No.
Well, listen, we want to thank all our listeners. Thanks for putting up with us. Sorry about the big break in end of May and June. We love doing this for you. We'll continue to do it next season. We plan to come back. We need our sponsors. We need our beloved sponsors. We thank them. Slawek, of course, and idrinkcoffee.com, who've been here from the beginning. Our friends at Untuckit, who were with us all year long. Bruce and the guys at the Waimara. We can't wait for New Jack Waimara.
New Jack Waimara.
Our trip in October where we're going to do pods. I think we'll just do the entire thing as a pod.
Yeah.
I'm just going to press record on my phone from the moment we land.
That won't be a
We're
disaster.
going to have 72 hours worth of podding.
Delilah.
You thought the Masters one went off the rails.
Yeah, and 400 hours of editing when we get home.
That'll sound sober.
I want to thank Hart at Puckpedia, who was with us earlier in the year.
Yes.
I finally met Hart
Oh, did
at
you?
the
Oh, nice.
at the draft, and Puckpedia is doing well. Once you sponsor us, we always love you.
For sure.
Did I miss anybody on the sponsors? Oh, of course, our friends at Cabot.
Yes.
We'll be giving them lots of love.
Did you give
Cabot, by the way, is going to open. The new Cabot is going to be in St. Lucia.
Oh.
And it's
What?
right on the cliffs in St. Lucia. So a Pebble Beach, St. Lucia, owned and run by Cabot. Same design team. Ben Crenshaw will be down there.
Really?
Designing on the holes. And so the next Cabot trip might be St. Lucia. I think they aim to be playing golf in a couple
I
of years.
look forward to
from now.
missing that one too.
And our friends at TaylorMade. Our friends at TaylorMade who help us out with our golf
TaylorMade.
stuff all year long. Don't be bitter, Puffy. We'll hook you up, I promise. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have an awesome summer. We'll hear from you in about a week or so from Cabot. And if I forget to say have a great summer then. Love you, Puff. Love you, Stoff. Love you, Lester. Have a great summer.
This might have been the worst.
No, it'll come together well.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, how are you? I got a question that I really want to ask you. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair?
Do you like the dunk tank?
At the fair.
The dunk tank, the dunk tank.
At the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up. Please. Somebody. Anyone?